I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys joining me. Boy, it's the holidays. It's a good thing we're talking about this. This is Sober Sunday. I think it's the third one we've done. I'm pretty excited about it. Z, thank you for being here. Analog Adventures, Brian Vandenbroek, thank you for being here. Brock Bandy, Kristen Melinda, and Sam Pepper Poppy, my wrenches. Clayton Hollingsworth, Jane Aldrich, Lisa Trimble. I appreciate everybody being here. This is, it's the funny thing about Sober Sunday. We've been talking about it a little bit. I thought about doing this for a long time. Heard ya. Thanks for being here. Clayton Collins, Keith Kingman. Hi, Garrett. Thanks for being here. Hi, Benny. Good to see you guys. All right, so this is an important thing. We lean on each other. You know what this whole hour is dedicated to? Do you guys know? It's encouraging you. Do you guys know what the word encourage means? To give courage. So when I'm encouraging you and we encourage each other, we're giving each other courage. And man, if you're trying to get sober, or you're trying to live a sober life, hi Barbara. You know what I mean? Don't we all need courage? Balaki, thanks for being here. I believe we do. We all need courage. So I want to tell you guys a quick story. Forever, there is the one and only. You guys heard of a man named Roger Bannister? The fastest mile forever. It was over 4 minutes. You guys know that? Sounds like a really quick mile, right? Bizzle, good to see you. Forever, it was 4 minutes. Nobody could break it. 1957, 25-year-old Roger Bannister ran a 3-minute, 59.4 second mile. Laser show, good to see you. Unbelievable. Look at it. Tommy Sobriety date, 6/27/15, the lifeboat. So, good sobriety date. So, he ran it in 1954. He broke the 4-minute mile. Nobody had done it. Teresa Clay. Do you guys understand that since that happened, 1,755 athletes have broken the 4-minute mile? It was impossible. Wanna love. Thanks for being here. Couldn't do it. Everybody sat back, and there was a dude named Roger Bannister who did it. Work with Kate Jordan. Good to see you. Chili Chaplin. Good to see you. Second, it can be done. It gives people, you can do it. And that's it. Since that time, when Roger broke it in 1957, the record is now 16.7 seconds faster than he did it, which nobody could break the 4-minute mile. So listen, I'm a guy who's sober. My sober date for alcohol, you guys, let me tell you what it is. I don't know from memory. It's a non-issue for me, which is really spectacular. Hi, Tad and Kit. James Collins cares. 5 years, 8 months, and 12 days for me. Through much of my life, a lot of my life, I was addicted to one thing or another. I was addicted or abused pretty much everything. And I'm sober now. And the reason I'm telling you this, to encourage you, I can do it. I'm like the Roger Bannister. If you can see me do it, if I can do it, you can do it. There are people that, I promise you, just ask Tommy. If you said to Tommy 20 years ago, you and your brother are going to be sober and going to try to help people get sober, who'd believe it? All right. Laser, I fell off a few weeks ago. Bad, but I'm back on it again. I'm glad. And this is where we need to be. You know what's wonderful about this platform and what we do here and at the Lifeboat? Laser Show, just what a boost of honesty. How about that for just a dose of honesty? Laser Show, you're among friends. Imagine if you went to a meeting and you sat in a circle full of people, you walk across, you hear your feet on the floor, you sit down, you can snap and say, hey, I fell off. Who would do that? But here, you're able to talk the truth and do it confidently without judgment. And that's where healing starts. So don't worry. I have a theory about that. I think if you've had, let me tell you, this is important, Laser. If you're somebody who's had like I'm 5 years, 8 months, and 12 days. Let's say I fell off the wagon and drank tonight. I'm not going to. But let's say I did. Does that number go back to 0? Some would say it does, right? Some would say, I start over. I think if you park it there, if you open a bottle and start drinking and you leave it there for a while, I think you need to start over. If you slip up once, You recovered. There's such thing as a good relapse. It's the last relapse. So laser, I wouldn't go back to zero. It's discouraging. Just, you move forward. You grab yourself. You got people that support you. Head up. Hi, Robert. A wine, a little bit more. Hello there. Good to see you. Proud of you. Really happy for you, Tommy. Amen. Boy, me too. Honestly. All right. So let's talk about sobriety. Dizzy Dragon, thank you for being here. Last time I've been talking to you, I gave everybody, I'm in a unique spot with my sobriety. I'm really solid with my sobriety. All right. I'm not in a spot where I feel yearnings. But I said in the last episode, I said, certainly there are people that are watching this that are going to find themselves in a spot where you have yearnings. It happens. Arch Nemesis, thanks for being here. So what I said to do is this, trick your brain. Here's the concept. And hang with me just for a second. Merck's, good to see you. I call it playing fetch with your brain. It's a stick. If you're outside playing with I don't care what the dog's doing. If you through the stick, the dog's going to stop what it's doing. It's going to go get the stick. Our brain is like that. When we get into a spot where you have a craving, I call it playing fetch with your brain. Just like throwing the stick. That dog is going to stop what it's doing and focus on the stick. We can do that with our brain. I don't care if you're Mensa. I don't care how smart you are. You can trick your brain like a toddler. And the way you do it is with your five senses. When you're having a craving, you got to see something different, hear something different, taste something different, touch something different. The whole 9 yards. You got all your senses. If you can occupy all your senses, that craving is going to go away. I promise you. It's just like playing fetch with your brain. It's the truth. Here's what happens when someone's trying to quit something. Listen, I've done it. I'm not a guy who's just flapping his gums. I've been there. I promise you. Galactic Gods, thanks for being here. Peter Crumpler. I love Sober Sunday. So do I. I've been down that road. I have. Trick your brain. Where your brain, your brain takes the floor and the ants, the automatic negative thoughts that say to you, come on, let's go drink something or do whatever you're trying to quit. The only time your brain has the floor is when you give it the floor. The way you give it the floor is by sitting in a room staring at 3 walls, because you can't stare at the wall behind you. Unless there's a mirror there. And then I suppose you could stare at all 4 walls. But that's the only time you're going to give your brain the floor. When you're doing nothing. When you're sitting around doing nothing. Jeremy Fowler, thanks for being here. So, play fetch with your brain. Don't give your brain the floor. Keep it busy. When you get dopamine from whatever you were doing. And really what we're craving is dopamine. You can get dopamine from doing so many different things. Playing guitar, drawing, singing, being in nature. But I'm telling you, this is the truth. The minute you guys start having a craving, what I said in the previous one is, we know that eating peppers increases serotonin. I throw this all the time. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep putting it up because it matters. By the way, there's a typo in this. You guys see the typo in there? I've thrown it up 20 times and no one's caught the typo. Did you know eating spicy foods causes your brain to produce hormones like serotonin, which makes your better, should be you. I'm going to whiten that R out, black that R out. It makes you better equipped to deal with depression, anxiety, anger, and stress. Now, my friends, if you're trying to quit something, those are triggers. They just are. So the way you can eat a pepper. So I encourage people the last time I say, if you're somebody who's struggling, buy a bag of jalapenos. A couple of people told me they did. If you're in the chat and you've done that, tell me if it was successful. I think the minute a craving comes on, if you can, thank God, thank the Lord. I'm in a good spot where I don't have to practice this, but I don't believe there's any way in the world you can have a craving. If you occupy your 5 senses and do something, there's no way that craving is going to stick around. Now, it's a multi-pronged attack when you're getting sober, all right? A really, really important part of getting sober is journaling. And that's a really important thing. But journaling is a funny thing. You got Whoopi, thanks for being here. When you journal, you've got to be able to journal with the confidence that nobody's ever going to see what you're writing. And that's a really, really important thing. Lego is here. No Quarter, love that name. How about this? No Quarter is sober from alcohol for 7 months. Do you realize you're in the home stretch of the year? The first half of the year is behind you. That's amazing. It's a cool thing because every single sober person you ever encounter, every one of them is a miracle. It's a pretty interesting thing that there was a time where back in the day when if somebody was addicted, they said, no, you know what? Don't let them drive. don't play with any pew-pews or anything sharp like knives. Vern Ashcroft. Thank you for being here, dude. Appreciate you being here. And, now there's legions of sober people. When you get sober, what you do, it's like, look, when you're drinking and you're drugging, you're living bad, you're casting ripples that affect everybody. But the great news is the minute you get sober, you're casting ripples, but they're different ripples. And you don't even see the effect it has on other people. I've had people say they're sober because they watch a video of mine. Listen, you never know the ripple you're going to have, but make a ripple. Make a ripple. Analog Adventures, adding crushed pepper to my coffee the past few days. It's a great thing to do. The more fine, sometimes you get powder that's really, really fine. That's great powder to put in coffee. As long as you don't mind, if you don't mind grinds, I don't. Peter P. Love Howtown. You guys see Howtown? Pretty cool. Howtown did a really awesome video about hot ones and the tomfoolery going on over there. So, do we have anybody in the chat that's eating peppers, trying to help themselves get sober? I'm trying to look for some. I can't see any. James Collins Cares says, am I making Tommy eat something hot? He mentioned on the boat. Not today, I'm not, but tomorrow we are. Tomorrow, if one of the mods can put up the link for the Atwood show, hang now. Please, tomorrow, I don't know what time it is, but Tommy, I'll see if you can find out. Maybe James Collins Cares, you might know. Tomorrow on the Atwood Show, Ron, 4-H Charity, Ron, hi, Shelly Kelly, is going to be eating some tube therapy nuts, which really could go off the rails because he's like, I'll eat the whole tube. I'm like, whole tube? You know what he's talking about? These are tube therapy. He's going to eat a whole tube unless you're hardcore. So it could be funny. He's going to do this live. That can go off the rails really easily. Shelly Kelly, thank you so much. You look spectacular in green, and I mean that. Peter P, I would love to hear more of your thoughts on the Howtown video. You know what? The Howtown video, if you saw it, it was great. It was a video where they exposed the ridiculousness of what's going on hot ones. And it's tough. I know we're talking about sobriety here. So if you have any questions about sobriety or comments, please put Q's in. But I will answer this and ask. It was a great show. They interviewed me. We did an interview. I interviewed with Joss, and I said a lot. I interviewed with her probably for close to 2 hours. They didn't use a lot of it, but still, what they used was great. And they exposed a lot of the ridiculousness. They talk, I started talking about it a long time ago. Mr. Hem, good to see you. And this was the one that got the whole thing rolling. This is a sauce from Hot Ones, and it's claimed, still, even now, they're claiming this is 2.4 or 2.5, they'll even say, million Scoville heat units. Well, somebody bought it and sent it to me because I wouldn't have bought it, $30. Anyway, I bought it and I reviewed it, and I did it with Tommy, and it just wasn't that hot. Look at this. We got to be nice. Let's not be too mean to Ed, but he was exposed. Thank you, Tommy. Love Sober Sunday. Anyway, what happened is this. I reviewed the sauce, and it wasn't that hot, and then Tommy ate it too, and he's not even that much of a chili head. It just wasn't that hot. And the next day, I drank the whole bottle, chugged the, it's supposed to be 2.4 million. Honestly, if I have a high tolerance, but 2.4 million, I wouldn't be talking. I chugged that sauce and talked for 10 minutes afterwards. It's just not that hot a sauce. So I had a lot of people in his camp. There's a thug mentality, a mob mentality in the chili community sometimes. So I said, okay, whatever. So I bought a bottle of this from online, and I had it sent to a laboratory that tests products for Scoville heat units. All right, so I did that. Thank you, Mr. Hem. I'm going to read that comment in just a little bit. So I sent it off to have it tested. It went straight from the manufacturer to them. Hi, John McCarty. They did the test, sent it back to me. I opened it up on video, and it said it was 60,800, which is, a kind of a far cry from 2.4 million, right? It's about 2%, 2.7% as hot as it is supposed to be. Or they lied 93%, however you want to look at it. Anyway, so I had somebody say, well, that's not really a test, a real test. So you got to send it to more than one place. So I said, Tracy, Michelle, good to see you. I said, well, by gosh, you're right. So I bought another bottle and sent it to a different laboratory. And then they tested it. They sent it back, opened it up on video. And then the second lab said 61,000. So one said 60,800. One said 61,000. People got really mad at me, like I was somehow like I'm picking on somebody. If you say something, listen, if it didn't say all the stuff, and okay, here's where the problem starts. It's all about pepper X. That's what this thing is made of. And the water level is the percentage of pepper X that the sauce technically has in it. Yet it's as hot. It's not as hot as a habanero. Anyhow, every single sauce on Hot Ones was inaccurate. Every single one. And all of them were way inflated. You get it? If it was 5,000, they would say it's 70 or whatever. Except one sauce, which was the bomb. The bomb, they claimed it was like 130, when in actuality, it's 179. I think they did that because they didn't want to make this look that bad. And the higher didn't make it look so bad. So anyway, that's what that whole show is about. Ed came on the show and said, he essentially said, the people don't really know the numbers and we can kind of throw a curveball by you. It is what it is, Essentially what he said. Pretty shady. Really funny. Look, it is what it is. He used to be a guy that rode in on the white horse wearing the white hat. Now he's totally comfortable riding that black horse wearing that black hat. Doesn't matter. He doesn't care. It's all right. Money. Making it. Anyhow, let me get back to some of these comments because there are some great ones. Whoops. All right. Mr. Hem says the thing about breaking addiction is to get away from the people that expect you to drink with them. Boy, you know what? There's some truth to that. I had all the times I've quit a substance, I removed myself from the area where the people were that helped. It's difficult. I know people that like are sober and they work in a bar. If they're trying to quit drinking, they work in a bar. That's, you got, the truth of the matter is you got to have different, you got to change you have to change every aspect of your life if you really want to do it and do it right. And I've done that, man. I mean, there's not a part of my life that's the way it used to be. The things I do now, I never used to do then. And all the things I did then, I don't do now. And that's kind of it. Laser Show says, I always drank alone. Binger here. I do believe spice and addiction are connected in a good way. Boy, I absolutely do too. There's no two ways about it. There's a correlation. Thank you for saying that. What it is this, Jeremy. Just curious. What's the percentage of Soylent Green? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Chili Chaplin says it was a good YouTube. It's more heatness and Hot Ones manipulating the situation for their benefit. Those who are connected with them are silenced. I think they can all hide behind a corkscrew. I think they're all sort of criminal. Let me ask you guys a question. If you think it's Hot Ones, I'm not knocking what you said, but if you think Hot Ones is the culprit, put a 1 in the chat. If you think this falls squarely on the shoulders of Pucker Butt, put a 2 in the chat. Let me know what you think. It's nice that they're talking about it. It's nice that they said, yeah, I was right. That's kind of a cool thing. Laser Show, I ate the Carolina Reaper as soon as it was available from Amazon. I knew it was bad for me. I bought a ton of them and made my own hot sauce. Good for you, man. I'll tell you something. It does help. John Rivera, thanks for being here. There really is a relationship, link between capsaicin and sobriety. It just is. Want to love the straight up Chinese mustard count? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not. That's a good question. Here's a great question. Masio, did you ever talk to Ed directly about false numbers? No. I mean, no. I'm doing a series right now, though. If you guys have seen, I'm doing a series called After the Burn, where I'm interviewing all the people that the channel has become familiar with names, like growers and producers, people you've never heard of that you're probably, oh, that's the guy he's been talking about. And I'm thinking about asking him on. We'll see. Be interesting, wouldn't it? Clayton, thank you for being here. All right, so getting back to sobriety, we'll keep talking, but the sobriety is a really important thing. You guys have to have a 5. You may have, if you're on the lifeboat, you hear about a 5. This is a really critical thing. A 5 is 5 people that you can contact when it's white knuckle and you're moving in the direction of using what you're trying not to use. All right. Now, this is this is so critical. If you're getting sober, please listen to this one. They can't be someone that just loves you and cares for you that hasn't been down that road before. You can't have a sober person who's never been down that road before trying to help you. It has to be somebody who's so in the sober life that was an addict that's now sober. It has to be. And listen, I wouldn't suggest that somebody new. The person needs to have some time under their belt. You need somebody who's strong, for real. And here's the truth about having the 5. These are 5 people. You get it? Like I'm a bunch of people's 5. Tommy's one of my 5. So if you have a problem, you got to be able to call and say, listen, usually you're mad and frustrated, and that's where it comes from. But what I've found is there have been times where I had a 5 and used anyway. Long time ago. All right? Before the last relapse, which was a good one. In those moments where I could have picked the phone up and said, you're not going to believe it. I feel like using it. And I didn't and used it anyway. Do you know why? Because I wanted to use. That's the truth. You got to get to the point where, I had people call me. I use it. I'm like, why didn't you call me? That's why you had my phone number. Call me. And you got to deliver it with love, but you have to have somebody who's going to help you. But that 5 is so critical. You have to have it. And the lifeboat is one thing I learned about the lifeboat that I think is so spectacular. I love Tommy for it. He's my brother. He saved my life a dozen times, like literally. So I love him. But when you become invested in somebody else's sobriety, when you become a part of someone else's journey, I swear to God, it's going to do amazing things for your journey. It's the truth. Look at that. Peter P says, Howtown blitzed Guinness and showed Ed admit the lie and says the audience are done. You guys remember the other night when I first spoke about the Howtown video? Who's seen the movie? Who has seen the movie Tommy Boy? Remember Tommy Boy? Dan Aykroyd plays Zelensky, the guy that makes car parts for American car people because they're too stupid. And you remember that guy? That's to me. Sell peppers. There he is. That's bad. It's really sad. It's sad that they can get away with that. There's a lot of twos. Look at that. I kind of agree with you. I'm kind of inclined to think that money does a lot of things.
That's for Sober Sunday, man. I love it.
I do too. Thank you, man.
Absolutely the greatest.
It's funny before
Johnny.
That was Tony.
Sure.
Before I did that, I was like, hey, I got to ask you a question because I've been mulling about for a while, thinking about it. I'm like, do you mind if I do a Sober Sunday? He's like, no,
everybody on earth does a sober day.
And he says, yeah, exactly. Here we go. Heard this is pivotal. What scares me is never getting fed up enough to quit an addiction and eventually kills me. Here's the thing, Heard you. We've all seen intervention, right? What intervention is a false, artificial bottom because the person that should be, like all the people around you going, dude, you're at your rock bottom. Why aren't you doing something? You've seen the show, right? Well, they aren't getting the message. They didn't get the memo. They're not along with the program. So what they do is we're going to create a wicked hard artificial bottom right now to force you to do something. But forced anything doesn't really work. You got to want to. Here's the thing. Heard you. Do you have a 5? Do you really want to get sober? I assume you do. You're here, right? I don't know what your crutch is, but I've been somebody who's been addicted to everything. So, let me know what, there's a lot of people. I'm not an expert like Tommy is an expert, but Tommy's in the chat. So there's a lot of help. You gotta plug in, you know what I mean? But the fact that you even said that is a real positive thing, Masio said, did Puckleman or Hot Ones put on a video admitting it? What did I miss? LOL. Masio, what he's talking about is Howtown did a video about the deception in Hot Ones. That is every single sauce they have and the deception with it and the whole show and everything else. But please check it out. Ed essentially admits that there's some shady stuff going on. It's almost like, hey, if you're foolish enough that I can get one over on you, I'm going to get one over on you. It's your bad, not my bad. Let the buyer beware. It's kind of how it is. James Collins cares. The boat is in the mud. Exactly. That said, you know what though? Listen, there has to be. It's almost like think about this. The chili world is almost like the WWE. There's the good guy that everybody crowd favorite. Then there's the guy who comes in on the gong and everything gets dark and scary. We need every type. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm glad I am the way I am. I can tell you that. All right. So Tommy says that Chinese mustard is based on horseradish, not mustard, really. I love that, man. Gets your nose. Lego, stirring the pot there, Lego. It'd be impossible. Probably trying to be diplomatic. Wolf, I get you. But here's the thing, man. You can't, when I first came into the chili world, I saw everybody so differently. I've been in it so long. I know where all the bodies are buried. I have pictures. I could put pictures up here right now. You all go like this of people that we're talking about that are out and about doing things that you shouldn't be doing. I won't do them, but people send them to me. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It's crazy. All right, Peter Crumpler. I too am in a place in recovery where I have few or no cravings. So awesome. I was shocked at how much time, energy, and resources I have for other things now that I'm not chasing a simple solution. Right? How about that? Isn't that a fact? Yeah, when you're really in it, all your time is spent hustling, copping, lying. It's amazing. It really is. I'm proud of you, man. That's awesome. It's really funny. Here's a really important thing to talk about. If you're sober, even if you're not sober, you guys understand that even if you're not sober, every human being in the world has ants. We have negative thoughts, automatic negative thoughts. We all have them. It's a human thing. Do you guys, when you first quit drinking or drugging, whatever, trust me, the automatic negative thoughts, they know your buttons. They know exactly. It's really rough. And that's why you got to play fetch with your brain. You can play fetch with your brain, occupy your brain. You can control it. Right. But if you stay sober, I'm 5 years, 8 months, 12 days of booze and 15 plus and dope and everything else, 15 years plus of that. But in time, you will get positive automatic thoughts. Automatic positive thoughts. I swear to you, you do. They're wonderful. They happen. They really do. And the first time it happened, I was stunned. Bizzle doesn't have a 5. Shut up, Bizzle. You got me, you got Tad, you got my brother. You got 3. You need 2 more. Sure you do. But it's important. You have to have a 5, and you got to want it, man, Look at this. Mal Shepard, thank you for being here. Hey, man, my dad drank himself to death, and I barely got sober. 30, looking at you as inspiration. Wow, man. I'm sorry, but you can do it. Here's the thing, man. Nobody would ever say, honest to God, if you could have gone back 20 years and anybody that Tommy and I ran with and said that Scoble Brothers are going to be helping people get sober, nobody in the world would believe it. But here we are. That's why I'm encouraging you. I can do it. You can do it. Encouraging. I'm giving you courage. Have the courage to do it. You can. You have a great reason. So many times people have had families that end up using, you know what I mean? It's like, it's hard. Break the cycle, man. If you break the cycle, Mal Shepard, you'll affect so many lives that you don't even necessarily know. Honestly, I know you can do it. Stay strong. That's a great point. Peter Crumpler says, the more you fill your life with healthy behaviors, the less substance or behavior. Yeah, here's the truth. That goes to the fact that all of us, everybody in this chat, John, good to see you. We're all very, very good at picking up a habit. Tommy and I'm not joking. We picked up habits in 32 minutes. I can pick up a habit so fast, it's not funny. But putting one away is not as easy. Fill your days with good, positive habits. Like every day now, I'm practicing guitar for an hour and a half. I used to just tinker. Now I'm literally practicing with a point. So I'm filling my days with stuff. I'm always filling my, trying to come up with different stuff always. But staying busy is really, really important. Okay, this is good. Master Him says, how do you feel about switching from one addiction to a less harmful addiction, swapping drinking for smoking weed? It's called harm reduction. Okay. And there are some people that will say look, here's the truth of it. If somebody's on dope, like dope, and they say, I quit, I'm smoking weed now. Anybody who's going to say, you fool, why'd you trade one for the other should be slapped in the face. That's an awesome trade any day to go from heroin to weed. Just like that. Like hold up a trophy. That's brilliant because one's going to kill you and one's not. So in a perfect world, nobody's using anything, but if you've got to step down or there, like I know so many people that are sober because of something else, sober from a really harmful one because of something else. That weed's legal almost everywhere, for that kind of a reason. I'm not, just for the record, I'm not anti-drug. I'm anti-addiction. I'm really not. There are people that don't have a problem with it. Like I'm not one of those people, but I'm not mad at the people that can handle it. But I don't think it's a problem. I think, here's the bottom line. Whatever it takes to get sober, find your why. Why do it? Thank God, Tommy and I got sober before my dad died. But why? I mean, my kids, Joe, you guys are a big reason I did it. I felt like I was lying to all of you doing a video with a beer off camera. You know what I mean? I didn't want to lie anymore. When you drink, when you're using, you know what? You lie all the time because you have to. You have two different, unless you only hang out with people that do what you do. But if you're one of those functioning ones, you have two different lives and you got to keep that division. You know what I mean? It's tough, but it's worth it. The fight is worth it. You know what I mean? There you go. Laser Show says, I had to realize I was facing an internal issue with an external solution. Need to face my internal issue with my internal solution, right? Well, the other big part of it totally is like, what's the root of it all? Here, Tommy's an expert on this. You should come in here, Tommy. If you trade one drug for another, and the drug you're trading it for is a better trade, that's harm reduction, and we recommend that wholeheartedly. Thank you. And there are people that will tell you that that you aren't really bettering, moving the needle. I say you are.
And the truth is, right? Of all of the people that do dope, of all of the people that drink, or all the people that do dope, only 3% are going to crash and burn. And by crash and burn, I mean they're going to end up in an institution. They're going to be dead. They're going to get arrested. They're going to do something that, like I did, like it's almost impossible to come back from, right? 97% don't ever get to that point. It's not ever going to be that. And realistically, about 8 out of 10 will screw around, stop, move on with their life, and it will never be an issue. So if you're going to end up not being completely strung out, maybe do it on something that isn't going to take your life. I know people will say that some substances are gateway drugs or whatever, but you got a substance that is killing more people than any other one on earth. It's the number one cause of death in our country, right? If you're trading that for cannabis, you hit it out of the park. I'm sorry, it's a great trade. And then we'll work on cannabis later. But if you're taking yourself off of a substance that can kill you and somehow get into something that can't, you don't have to be around.
That's a winner every day. That's a good trade any day.
No judgment required, I promise.
That's it.
Pays off.
But you can. But here's the thing. It's like I said at the very beginning. The whole thing about God, Tommy. I know we've been talking about this book for a long time, but the book that I've written, we're going to release in January. When you read it, and then you look at Tommy where he is now. If there was anybody in the world that, I mean, he's like a living miracle. So you can do it. I mean, honestly, you can do it. But get a 5. You know what I mean? Have a 5. You have to journal everything. Do everything you can. Fill your day with good habits. Make your bed in the morning. You know what I mean? It's important. Shelly Kelly. I was telling my friends about harm reduction the other day when I was overwhelmed with quitting gambling. My friend said, "How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time." Exactly. It's exactly how you do it. Don't get overwhelmed. Just do what you can do. What do you do about stress to cancel it out? You know what? Here's the thing. It's a good question. I mean, I play guitar a lot, probably a couple hours a day, every day. I eat a lot of hot foods, and I'm telling you, if you just joined us, and the reason this is probably, and I'm sorry to bore you with this again. I'm going to bore you with it again. Hang on one second. Let me move Merck's comment for just a second. Merck, this is about peppers. The hot thing that's in peppers is called capsaicin, okay? And when you eat capsaicin, it produces hormones like serotonin. It helps you deal better with depression, anxiety, anger, and stress. And that's what you are absolutely talking about. So what you can do is start eating more hot stuff. I mean, I started seeing it before I even got sober. I would go to a pepper festival. I was at the line getting a Bloody Mary, and somebody was getting a Coke. I'm like, can I have a Bloody Mary? Oh, I'm sober. Everybody, it's more people are sober at a chili event than are not. It's the truth. So I saw there was a correlation there, big time. And then I got sober. When I got sober, you know what? When you get sober, you just start seeing everybody that's sober, and then what happens? Here's the thing: when you're a YouTuber, like I'm in front of a lot of people. There's 28 million views on this channel. There's a lot of people who know I'm sober. So I'm like famously sober. So people will I get taught. People talk to me about as much about sobriety as they do about peppers now, for real. But that's a good thing. You got to talk about it. There are two kinds of people in the world: people that will get sober and stay sober, the people that'll get sober and help others do that. I want to help others do that. I know what it's like to be in shackles, man. I do. Wow, Lego, 17 years sober from opiates. It's more than me. Good for you, Lego. That's awesome, man. Look at that. Bizzle. Tracy's your fourth, man. Tracy's awesome. I'm praying for him too, Shelly. I hope he does. You know, it's tough. It's hard to watch. You can't do it for him, you know. If I can give up after 30 years of heroin, I promise you can give up anything. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing for me to sit here in front of you and talk like this. If you guys read the book that we released, you're going to go, I mean, you know, we've come a long way. Mirrored Guitarist, love the name. I've had my own personal battles with alcoholism in the past. I've managed to cut it back and slowly moving towards not drinking at all. Good for you. I don't know if you eat peppers, but I'm telling you, start eating peppers. It'll help. Johnny, you know I don't talk to anyone. Well, no one, just play with scabbers. You talk to me. And you know me, dude. Here's the thing about somebody in your 5. There's not a, if Bizzle called me at 2 a.m, there's not, or 3, 4, 5, there's not a time of the day. There's no time limit on a 5. It's not like, hey, listen, 9 to 5, I'm available. I prefer mornings. I work better in the mornings. It doesn't work like that. A 5 is in case of emergency, break glass. So, you know, I always got you, dude. Laser show. My mother and brother died from addiction too. I'm alive for a reason, and figuring it out is the purpose. Amen. Giving away my experience and hope is why I get up. I'm a husband, a father, and a son, and a hero. And you're strong. You know what I mean? Here's one thing I tell everybody: if you talk to me about sobriety, you have heard me say you're 10 times stronger than you think you are. Because everybody's shaky when they go into it. They're nervous. They're scared. It's the unknown. It's the, you don't want to fail. Plus, it's an addiction. You're addicted. I get it. But you can get there. You can get there. I know you can. How do you begin hot for beginners? Wanna love? I'm so glad you asked. I don't have the link in front of me, but if you go to this on this channel, if you go to the videos and just on the search area, just type in or go to type in tolerance, or better yet, go to the playlist and hit the tab for pepperology. Pepperology is a ton of videos designed for absolute brand new beginning chili heads. I mean, like, hey, is that a pepper? Tell me about it. That kind of brand new. From everything you need to know, what you need to avoid, how to build a tolerance, what peppers to eat, you know, how to do it in a thoughtful way where you're not going to get hurt. Or if you want to do it like me and hurt yourself. Pepperology. But I promise you, you'll find that it does help. That, you know, if you put a 1 in the, and I'm sorry to beat you guys up for this, but put a 1 in the chat if you've experienced benefit from peppers in your sobriety. Joshua Hizzle, thanks for being here. Kim Roy, hello there. I know so many people. Matt Ruth, hello there. I have pneumonia. Peppers okay? Pneumonia, listen, yeah. Matt, they're loaded with antioxidants and vitamin C. They're very, very good for you. But you know what? Still go easy. Like, just eat something very mild. Like bell pepper still is loaded with antioxidants and vitamin C. You don't have to eat it super hot, but they're very, very good for you. I hope you feel better. I'm sorry you're sick. Pneumonia's a drag. Joe C says, even though weed is legal, it's kind of a gateway drug. It's a habit that, just like all habits, can become very harmful because one leads to another. Yeah, I mean, there's no two ways about it. But like Tommy said, of all the people that are going to do it, only about 3% are going to get addicted. That's it. So some people don't have a problem with it. I'm just one of those guys. Listen, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's a substance or a thing, I'm going to have a problem with it. That's just me. I mean, I eat peppers. Look at how I eat peppers. You know, fortunately, it's peppers. Here's the thing about drugs. When you do them, you push everything good in your life away from you a little bit at a time. And it happens slowly, and you don't even notice it. And one day, there's nothing good in your life, and you've lied to everybody, and everything's falling apart. It's coming apart at the hinges, and that's what happens. You've isolated yourself. You lie to everybody. It's expensive. It's illegal. Peppers are absolutely the opposite about that. You know what I mean? It brings people together. They're healthy. They're fun. They taste good. They're good for you. Brock Bandy says, yep, they have more vitamin C than 3 oranges. True story. Look at this. Jeremy Fowler says, traded tobacco and nicotine for green herb and wax vapes. Holy cow, did my life get better? Slowly dropping off all one day at a time. Yep. You know what I mean? And here's the thing, man. We're all works in progress. You know, nobody. I think anybody who's just comfortable being the way they are, I can't fathom that. To me is the scariest position in the world to be in as a human being. Like, I'm comfortable where I'm at. You know, my mom told me when I was a little kid, she said, in life, you're either doing this or you're doing this, and there's no such thing as this. And I got to tell you, man, I believe that. If you think you're plateauing, you're not. You're doing this and you just don't realize it. You're either going up or you're going back. And that's, I swear to you, I believe that. Here's the thing that's scary. Harm reduction saves lives, but you know what doesn't save lives? Tough love right now. I know somebody who's got a son who's using, and they're tough loving it. Tough loving it is not, you know, that might have worked in 1975, but with what's on the street in 2024 or 2025 now, tough love is going to put a kid in a morgue. And it's a terrifying thing. I thank God my kids are sober. Jesus, my kids are sober. Swiss Vapor, ready for this, people? I got sober from booze, morphine, benzos, never going back. Never. Capsaicin helped a lot. Thank you, dude. Check out the Lifeboat, game changer, staying sober and stable. Please do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed to the Lifeboat, will somebody put a link to the Lifeboat up? It's kind of important, please. Yeah, man, I think you're probably okay to eat peppers. Just don't eat super, super hot ones because it might do a number on your stomach. So please subscribe to the Lifeboat. It's a wonderful channel. Now, one other thing I want to tell you. Bizzle, one of my greatest inspirations. I love Bizzle. I'm calling you after this, dude. Look at this. Jason Pura has a Tubatera on the way, 2.0. Prep first, my friend. Guys, you want something crazy? I don't think we've ever done a live stream. I've done it forever. I mean, 8 years, all right? I don't think I've ever had a live stream where we were sitting on the cusp of a big number. This isn't like a milestone number, but right now we are 9 subscribers away, 9 bus riders away from having 148,000 subscribers. You believe that? So maybe one of the mods can throw, you don't need to throw this chat. Do me a favor, just hit the subscribe button. We're at 47,991 right now. I guarantee you there's 9 people in this chat that aren't subscribed. See if we can do that. That'd be kind of fun. Tommy says, it's really hard to break a habit. It's not hard to start one. So replace bad ones with good ones. That makes more sense. Start by making your bed. It's easy money. Fact, Tommy said to me once, if you were doing it when you were using, don't do it now. If you're doing it now, it better not be stuff you're doing then. All right, so we're still Jane says, plus you learn techniques and strategies from Tommy, Johnny, and Tommy's son, Spanx Calhoun, during the live streams to implement in your life to make it through transition. Become your best. Here's the truth of it. You know what you need? You need connection. Tommy says this over and over again. The opposite of addiction isn't sobriety. It isn't. It's connection. It's connection. And the funny thing about it is connection is the cure for so many ailments. It's crazy. Lego says gambling is an addiction that doesn't get addressed enough. It's real and bad. You know, the funny thing is all addiction, the principles are beating it. The principles are all the same. Whether you're, swiping a card, whether you're, pulling a handle, whether you're snorting something, smoking something, it doesn't matter. The addiction's addiction. And some people may not agree with that, but the principles of beating it are all the same. And that, if you go to Tommy, I've been on Tommy's channel where there's somebody who has a sex addiction, sugar, and every drug on the planet, cigarettes included, all on one video with gambling. But what we all need is judgment-free support, and that's what this is all about. Who's going to stop with it? I mean, look, it's the 23rd of December. Who's going to get up and go to a meeting in town tonight? Who'd want to, even if there wasn't? There is one in your town, but who wants to go to that? But a venue like this, a platform like this is so much easier. The very, very beginning, someone said I used, but I'm back on. That to me just screams why this works. You know what I mean? Why this is important. Matt says, are peppers good for influenza? Matt, because they're so loaded with vitamin C and antioxidants, they're just very, very good for you. Now, I wouldn't suggest eating a plate full of super hots right now. You have pneumonia, you're sick. However, I've been sick, I think once or twice since I started the channel. So in 8 years, a couple of times in 8 years. True story. I don't ever get sick, and I think capsaicin is a big part of it. Big love, Jeremy. Silver Surfer. Bizzle says, I'm in. Matt Ruth. KM says they have lots of vitamin C, so they could support your immune system, but check with your doctor and that kind of thing. Totally do that, please. You always want to. I've had people walk up to me at events. You wouldn't believe it. I had a girl walk up. She started eating. It's not hot enough. I want hotter. We always start out small. I don't want to burn them silly because then they run away and they don't buy anything, right? So we started small, and she goes, oh. Finally, she's right. The next peanut is the hottest one we make, the death nut. She goes, I'll try the death nut. I went to get some death nut. As I did, she turned to the side, and she is pregnant out to here. But she was wearing it straight ahead. So when she was facing me, I couldn't see. When she turned to the side, she was pregnant, like a cartoon pregnant. I went, you're pregnant. She goes, so? I said, so you're eating this stuff? She goes, is that bad? I said, I don't know. How do you feel? She goes, I feel great. I eat hot stuff all the time. But I almost had a stroke. Johnny, when will you see you on Hot Ones? Matt, Ruth, you know what? I can safely tell you, sadly, not sadly, very proudly, that is never going to happen. You're never going to see me on that channel. Sorry. Was a time. There was a time. I would have liked that. No more. Mr. M, I quit smoking cigs in 1997. Now I can't stand the thought of smoking, right? They seem disgusting now. All addictions generally are that way. You know what? I never smoked, but alcohol, I don't like. I don't crave alcohol at all. It's not my thing anymore. I mean, I know people like that though. I had a friend who was on his 39th birthday. It's a funny story. Robert, his name was. On the 39th birthday, went to bed and he was a 3-pack a day smoker. He said he would have one in his mouth, one in the ashtray. Like he was just constantly smoking. Like one match in the morning and go all day long. And the night before before he turned 40, he said a prayer. And he asked God he goes, I'm asking you to help me stop smoking. I'm asking you to make me a non-smoker. He woke up. He's never had a cigarette. If he smells a cigarette, he has to get away because he thinks he's going to chunder. It's hilarious. True story though. Uh-oh, Joe C had too much Double Doomed and Reboot. Nice. Listen, that's a wicked, wicked, wicked hot sauce. So, it's hot, man. I'm sorry your stress level is high. It's the holidays. That's why this is important. It really is, I appreciate you guys all being with me. I really do. I hope everybody's strong. Please reach out if you need help. Don't suffer alone. And whatever you do, have your 5. It doesn't need to be, this can be a piece of paper. It doesn't need to be like a leather-bound journal, but start journaling. Start talking to people. Get your 5. You talk to somebody. Man, when I got sober, when I made the decision that morning, I called my kids. First thing, I called my kids and told all my kids, your dad's a drunk. I'm going to fix it. That sucked. You can't know what a bummer that was. I told my mom and my dad. My brother calls me. He's in prison. He goes, man, I got to talk to you. I said, me first. He goes, go ahead. I said, I'm a drunk, man. I got to quit. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm not going to drink again. Wow. I said, what were you going to say? He goes, nothing. He was going to call and talk to me about my drinking. True story. I'm so glad I don't drink. I can't begin to tell you what a blessing it is. Dale Cox, good to see you. Salvation is today. Indeed. Hey, buddy, I love your videos. Have a beautiful day and holiday. Keep your head up. Absolutely, man. Thank you. Geek Rider, Chili helped me overcome addiction. 1,000%. Man, I'm going to leave that for a minute. Me too. Thank you. I wasn't eating peppers like I am now when I was quitting the hard drugs, but I have to believe it would help. I know it made alcohol a joke. Weed helps my pain med dose stay lower. It's good medicine if used wisely. There's a reason for it. It exists for a reason. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with people using it. like I said, I'll say it over and over again. Tommy says it as well. I do not have, I'm not anti-drug. You know, drugs exist for a reason. I'm anti-addiction. Addiction sucks. I agree with you, Switch Paper. Really do.
You're way behind. Catch up. Quids is here. Say hello.
Oh man, I'm way behind. You guys, I'm gonna miss a whole. Look how far behind I am. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me, you guys. Any questions I missed, please put it in the chat again because I'm way behind. Relatable Reese. You gotta be kidding me. You guys, there's Relatable Reese. Please check out Reese's channel. If you haven't subscribed to her, she right here. You know what? Put it on the screen. If you have not subscribed to Reese, please do that. Someone asked me how much I drank. I didn't. I just drank all the time. I wasn't even that drunk. It's not like I got drunk a lot. I just drank all the time. Here's the problem. I was, I'm a YouTuber. I go to these shows and I don't have a boss. You know what I mean? And it was, we were setting up a show at 8:00 in the morning and somebody would stick a Bloody Mary in my hand. I'm like, okay, here we go. I walk up to buy one. And it happened at every show. One day I'm at the show. The guy goes like, he turns around and goes, Johnny, put your wallet away. Your money's no good here. That's how it is at every event. And if you're somebody who shouldn't be drinking, that's kind of a crappy spot to find yourself in. Didn't make, I had to quit. That's what it was. Wine, a little bit more. My 14-year-old nephew started huffing oxygen. I've been trying to figure out if it's harmful to his health. He does this. He does not need help with oxygen intake. Any influence? I do not. I know that there are oxygen bars. They were big in LA, more so about 10 or 15 years ago. I will look into it for you. I know a lot of people who will oxygen saturate before they go diving, like breathe pure oxygen before they go diving. I can see why you'd be concerned about it, but I will look into it. And if you could ask me a week from today when we do the next, and I will have some information about that. Fascinating, though. I'm glad you said something. Thank you. And thank you guys for subscribing to Reese. Let me see how close we are to 148,000. See if we got there yet. We are now... We're 6 away, people. 6 people. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to this channel. Maybe we can get to 158 before the thing's over. Actually, we can't because we're going to be ending this in about 8 minutes. It's not impossible. It could happen. Otzi, good to see you. Otzi says, some people can just have one. It took me a long time to figure out I need that guy quitting was the I need that guy quitting was the best thing I ever did. Me too. I probably wouldn't be alive if here's a problem. Tragedy is I probably would have been alive. I just never would have been my best. You know what I mean? I'm going to flounder and be mediocre. And mediocre makes me want to vomit. It really does. Any chance for a Sunday, 1 hot minute, celebrate the catalyst? You know what? We're just about ready to wrap it up. But you know what? We'll have a good one this week. We had a great one last week, thanks to the lifeboat. It was really, really fun. We had Tommy, he was ending his show. He said, everybody go to Chase to eat. We had a ton of people and like a whole slew of people who'd never been on a 1 hot minute. It was amazing. Austin Steinbach, what a great name. Are you kidding? I love that. Merry Christmas, Johnny. What is your take on the recent testing on all the Hot One sauces? Your thoughts? I saw you on the Chili YouTube on this program. I forget the name of the channel. Sorry. It was Howtown. And it was, I'm glad someone's finally taking a look at it other than just me. It's shady, if they can get one over on unsuspecting, silly people, it's on our fault, not their fault. That's the message. It was a bummer. I'm glad someone's talking about it, though. The best disinfectant is light. Johnny, I have a barrel of bourbon that I barreled up 1 year before I quit drinking. It's 16 years old, 167.9 proof. I have 31 gallons. I'm trying to make some word up to. I think with a barrel, you can certainly make some tincture with that because, tincture, you're in good shape, I think. I'll tell you what, I don't drink, but for those who do, that sounds like a find, like a barn find. We open the door and you find like an Aston Martin from 1962 or something like that. You guys are awesome. Try to see if I missed any important. One more time. Look at that. One more time, Reese. Wine a little bit more. I understand. I really do. Can I tell you something? There were times where I did whippets till there was canisters everywhere. Matter of fact, as soon as we get done, I'm gonna call Bizzle Actually, I got to eat dinner. Then I'm going to call Bizzle. But I will research this tonight, and I'll try to get some information. But I would be concerned, but there could be so much worse. Have you talked to him about the reasons of why he's doing that? Is he I don't know. I'd have to look into it. But I understand. Just try to breathe. Communication. If he's willing to talk, communication is a big deal. Hey, Lennon, that's the rear view mirror. Spend more time looking through the big piece of glass in the front. Spend 30 years on her. We can't get those back, but we can help others. It's pretty awesome. Spirit Prof says, make sure it's aviator grade oxygen. Probably matters a lot. Jennifer Matthews, thanks for being here. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up in just a couple minutes. Hold on. Jason Plura says, are you doing a New Year's chat, New Year's Eve live chat? I'm down to be there while checking out the Tube of Terror. I don't know. I wasn't planning on it, but you know what, though? I kind of do make the shot, all the call. I call the shots on Chase Seed, so maybe we'll do that. Who knows? Could be fun. You never know. It's really interesting. I still don't know what I'm going to do about Christmas Eve. You're welcome, Reese. Always, girl. See that? Tommy's down for doing a live show. You know what? Maybe we'll do a live Scoville live. We'll do that. To everybody who subscribed to the Lifeboat, thank you so much. It's a great channel. If you're listen, if you don't know about the Lifeboat already, you have to go over there because I know very little about addiction. All I know is that I'm sober. Tommy is more educated on addiction than just about anybody else you're going to come in contact with. He's smarter than I am by a long shot. And there, you're going to have so much support and so much. You got to do that. So if you're somebody struggling, please go over there. Excuse me. Look at this. Relatable Reese. I can relate to Reese. She says, you doing a live New Year's Live? I think we are. See, this is how things happen. She's asking. Tommy's asking. I'm asking. You see how that could work? I'm telling you, I see it. Oh, Noah Wright just got Jurassic Jerky Revenge of Reaper. Have I tried? I've not. Sounds absolutely lovely, though. Oh, see, this is what I meant. Would you like to join me there, Quibs? See that? Here we go. This is how it starts. And you can say, we were there. Austin says, thank you for reading my question. I've been subscribed to your channel for 2 years and growing peppers based on your reviews. I can't wait until pod season 2025. Austin, that's so cool. Were you one of the people that got warthog seeds from Matthew Arthur? If you haven't, go to the video, right? The hottest pepper of the season. It's a warthog with a chocolate primatale video. In there is his address. And if you send him a self-addressed stamped envelope, he'll send you seeds of the hottest pepper I ever ate in my life. And you need to be growing that one. He thinks it's cool and harmless. Both of his parents are addicts. So, praying for you. Your place, says Tommy. I'm just watching this come together. In more ways than one, says Reese. Have a good night, everybody. Love you, mean it. All right, guys. Bizzle says, Scoville Brothers New Year's Bash. I can see it happening. You know what we might do, Tommy? You know what we should do? We should do a live stream from our electric car, from BSA, Brother Scoville Electric. Maybe it's time we take it for a ride and show everybody. Pretty amazing car. If you haven't seen it, well, I know you haven't seen it. It's beautiful, though. Jane, you are so kind. You're all amazing group of people. I'm grateful to know you all. I love all and pray you are happy and safe through the holidays. Thank you so much. The triple threat. See, I'm telling you. It's scary. Analog. You know what we're going to do? 1 hot minute. I've never televised a 1 hot minute ever. But you know what? We're going to do a 1 hot minute for the ball drop. That's it. It's going to be fun. If you haven't experienced if you've never experienced we're almost done with this stream, but if you have never experienced a 1 hot minute, please do me a favor. The stream is only going to go for another couple of minutes, but if you've never experienced 1 hot minute, please put a 1 in the chat. I've got to see how many brand new people we have here. Because I'll tell you something, if you haven't experienced a one hot minute, you haven't lived. They're so much fun. Tommy's laughing at you, Bizzle. See, Z hasn't. Juanita Love has it. Austin Steinbeck has it. Oh, man. One hot minute. It's the coolest thing. In the past, like this one coming up is going to be the only one we televise. It's just a impromptu. I don't know what causes it. I say, yeah, everybody get something hot. And on the half hour, we all eat something hot together. And then everybody puts how hot they are. And it's like a horse race. It's a good time. Look at that. One hot minute is my fave. Thank you, KM. I dig it too. I really do. Thank you, Aura. You're awesome. Bizzle says, I love you, Tommy. He loves you too, man. Tommy says, Brock, knock that off. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. You got look at that. Gusher Warthog says, love you too, Biz. Says Tommy. Gusher Warthog. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. To those getting sober, keep fighting the good fight. Have your 5, please. All right, have your 5. Journal. This is a tense time, right? Play fetch with your brain. When you get the cravings, play fetch with your brain. Think of your senses. Occupy them all. That's how you play fetch with your brain. And all of a sudden, your brain's not thinking of what it wanted to do because it's thinking of what you want it to think.
Leave a comment after this thing. Seriously, it's going to take you 10 seconds. Let's get the sober message out. Leave a comment.
Please do.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment for the algorithm. And then at 7:30, 1 hour from right now, catch Tommy on the lifeboat. And Reese also always. Thank you guys. Love you. I'm Johnny Scoville. And this was Sober Sunday.